All right, what's up, everyone? Happy Monday. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello.
Hi. It's gray and cloudy today.
Yes, it is.
So here we are. Still don't have a desk. Every time I set up for this podcast, I'm like, what is happening here? That's okay. We make it happen. So today we're talking about I think we just talked before hitting record, and I think we covered all the issues that we've been dealing with lately. It's just, as a business owner, stuff stacks up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you always talk about it like when people break up, it's not that they didn't take out the trash,
Right.
it's all the things in the years leading up to that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we were with the business, that just a bunch of random stuff, like no power, then you have power, then you don't have power, then you have power, then you don't have power. It was just like a lot. And then dealing with some other stuff too, but that's part of business ownership.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't deal with that stuff, then
Don't have a
pack it up.
business.
Yeah, don't have a business, because you're probably going to have to deal with some stuff that you don't want to deal with.
And
or
it
that you
comes
think,
at the worst time, or it just comes at a time where you're like, wow, I don't have time for this, but you have to have time for this. And how do you deal with that? And how do you present yourself in that, especially in front of your team? If you start freaking out, everyone else is going to freak out. So you gotta you really have to keep it together. I mean, we went through a bunch of stuff this week on Friday, power issues, whatever. So Todd he can't cut hair in the dark, right? It's just not possible. And we didn't know when power's coming back on. So he's like, I'll go
I
home.
cut some hair in the dark.
Yeah, I did cut some hair in the dark. He's like, I'm going to
I
head
already
out.
had started the haircut, so.
Right. He's like, I'm going to head out. I'll take care of the family. Cause if you've been listening, you know, we have 3 children. And I looked at him and I'm like, you can't leave me. He's like, what? And I'm like, if this power goes out again, I just need to do hair today. I can handle the hair part and I can handle somewhat the morale of the staff if you're here. Otherwise, I'm like, I'm going to lose it. I don't want to deal with electricians. I don't want to deal with the ownership. I like the landlords. I just want to do hair. So Todd's like, I'll get a sandwich and come back. And I said, that would be wonderful. Thank you so much. But sometimes you also have to know when to ask for help. I'm at the top and I need someone here by my side to just know if shit hits the fan that they'll take care of it. And we made it through the day and it was great. And we had a great team that all just stepped up and did what they needed to do.
Yeah, our team is awesome, and that's what I want to talk about today. But before we get there, let's do some opening takes.
Okay, I'll start because I kind of just sort of went into it. Know when to ask for help.
Go for it.
Know when, if you're in a position like Todd and I are, we're co-owners, you know, we lead the team together. We do the salon stuff together. There are times where I can handle it and I'm good at winging it and got it, and knowing when you don't got it, and then making sure you have around you to make sure you don't lose your shit. The last thing your team needs is to see you unraveling. So, you know, if you have a support team, knowing when to say to them, hey, I need you and I can't handle this alone. So know when to ask for help.
That's a good one, for sure. I think too many people in general, not just business owners, but people in general, don't want to ask for help. They view it as maybe a sign of weakness, or they don't know what they're doing, or whatever. Well, it's true. You don't know what you're doing, or you need help. So there's nothing wrong with that, though. And I've talked about it before on the show, but I had somebody say to me one time that they wanted to own a salon in 5 years. And I said, why 5 years? It seems pretty specific, right? And the person, I'm always curious of what people are thinking. The person said, because in 5 years, I won't have any questions. I don't want to be an owner that somebody asks me a question, I don't know the answer to it. And I was like, you're doomed.
Yeah.
You're so doomed. Because
anything you do, you have questions for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I need help all the time. And there's a lot of stuff that, you recently had somebody who said, I'm trying to leave it out in case they listen. I don't want to offend anyone, so I don't use names. I actually don't even know the name, but it was a stylist that's been doing hair for a long time. So they said, I don't need education.
Oh,
something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that person's not doing as well as they could if they just got some education.
They were like, I've been in the industry long enough. I've learned everything there is, or something to those words. And I was like, whoa, okay, well,
that's wild to me.
I've been doing hair for a very long time and I always have things to learn, and happy to learn them, and happy to also say when I need help. I have weaknesses, I have strengths, and I'm very aware of those. And there's some that I'm not always aware of. There's things that I think I can do well. And I'm like, oh, I need to work on that. Vice versa. There's some things that surprise me that I'm better at than I thought. That's just how life goes.
So my opening take is
Let's
a
hear
quote
it.
that I heard from where we were watching the Celtic City. Is that what it's called?
I think so,
Documentary.
yeah.
Tommy Heinsohn, if you don't know, we're Celtics fans. We grew up here. My family's from Boston area, and then we moved to Southern New Hampshire. So I've always been a Celtics fan. Grew up watching them as a kid.
Same.
Kind of fell off, and then got back into them, and then really got back into them lately. It's easy because they're winners.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? They just won a championship, and they have the Jays, and the team kicks ass. So the big reason, though, I love watching them is because I watch them with my kids, and that's one of my favorite things to do. So we recently started watching this documentary. Tommy Heinsohn, if you're not sure he is, he was an old player and then coach. And then he was the voice of the Celtics
Mhm.
for years and
Mhm.
years. And up until recently, he passed maybe few years back. But he said in this story, he said at a certain point, he realized that 40% of people are going to hate you no matter what you do. And 40% are going to love you no matter what you do. And then 20% are actually going to be influenced by what you do.
Mhm.
And I was like, that's an interesting quote because
It's amazing.
we're always looking for this validation. We're always looking for the next person to tell us that we're right. And you shouldn't need that because you're either going to be unlucky and have a person that's not into you give you their 2 cents, or you're going to be lucky, I guess, and have an echo chamber because these people are going to tell you what you want. It's like when you see people graduate hair school and they put up a picture and it gets 1 million likes and people are like, this is amazing. You're slaying, girl. All this, like all the kid stuff, right? That you see and you look at it and you're like, needs a little, like,
Your work
needs
is
a little
just
help. You know what I
starting.
mean? Yeah. So, and I'm not knocking like anything like that. I'm not knocking supporting people. Of course not. That would be silly.
Mhm.
But it's easy. Those people are always going to say you did a great job, even if you didn't do a great
Mhm.
job. So you just got to be mindful of that, I think. And yeah. Anyway,
I
let's
love it.
jump into. We kind of surprised two of our staff members. I'll tell a story real quick if you don't mind, and then you can jump in.
Sure.
So we have our staff who is. Some of them have expressed interest in teaching. So we put together some classes, and we did a styling class, so a blow dry styling class. And then that was run by two of them. And then one of them ran an updo styling class. It was really cool. I didn't get to go to that one, but I heard it was great.
Mhm.
And so we wanted to meet with them to discuss. We were putting together some stuff for a new menu, service menu, and just putting together some ideas for our website and whatever. So we ended up surprising them, I would say, because both of them said, I didn't expect this
Yeah.
at all. But when we set out and created Hello Hair Pro, we always knew we were starting with a podcast because we wanted to get some education out there that was just little thing like our experiences.
Mhm.
That's all this podcast is. Our experiences and our thoughts of running a business in 2025 as a husband, wife with 3 kids in Southern New Hampshire. That's our story right there. But we always knew we wanted to have some sort of education offering,
Right.
classes, something online. We weren't sure what it looked like. And then we just sort of arrived at it 186 episodes later.
Bam, it hit us in the
3.5
face.
years. We have for as much bad stuff that happens to you when you have a business, sometimes the stars align.
Mhm.
So right now we have an amazing team, very receptive. They're just freaking awesome.
Mhm.
And
Kicking
when
ass.
they expressed interest and ran these classes, I decided it would be a good time to surprise them. You were like, let's do some classes and open them up to the public. And I was like, cool, let's have our first 2 Hello Hair Pro educators then.
Mhm.
Let's make it official.
Yeah.
Facebook official or whatever. So that's what we're doing. We surprised them and we said, hey, you guys did a great job. Congratulations. Not easy to get up in front of your peers. And it definitely won't be easy to do the next thing that we're going to ask you to do or challenge you to do, which would be to become an educator. And so Gianna and Lauren will be our first Hello Hair Pro educators.
Yes.
And I'm really excited to see what the future holds for them because they're both really great people to start. That's the first thing you got to be. I don't care if you're a global educator or whatever. If you're a jerk, you're a jerk, right?
Yeah.
We've met some of
Doesn't
those people.
change.
Yeah. And so, hold on, let me notifications for software updates and stuff. And so, anyways, I was really excited. They were really excited. We had a powwow. They were like, we didn't see that coming at all. And so we laid out like what this will look like moving forward and putting classes together and offering them to the public.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
Wicked cool. So anyone listening is like, oh, I would love to do this with my team. I'll give you a quick little background of how we got to where we are. So for me, I don't always see the vision right away. And when I don't see the vision, it clouds what I'm trying to do. So this was super cool. We knew what we needed to do to elevate our team at Hello Hair Co. And we knew that Gianna and Lauren could help us. So they first had to sit down with me. I don't know if Todd, you were there, but sit down with one of us and me really, because I'm the one that's helping them do it, and lay out what does this class look like. So Gianna and I sat down a few different times to lay out this blow dry style class, and then brought in Lauren for part of it. I think Gianna really took the lead, had the notes, what does this look like? And sort of through the timing, how do we want this class to lay out? And the cool thing is the team's coming in and it was a much more relaxed atmosphere. So it was one of those like, let's just run this, see how it goes. And we're always going to get better every time we do this class again. Did the same with Lauren, lay it out. This is what I want to see. This is what I want the team to get out of it. And then I'll be there to support you. And if you forget anything, make sure we're asking the right questions. And really coming off of those two classes, which we're about a week or so apart, it gave me the vision. So now I had clarity, like, whoa, this is what we missed. This is what we need to do. I literally could picture how to lay out a class, from requirements to how it's run, to how many people we could support in the beginning, to the timing, to all of the things. So coming off of the updo class, when Todd and I were meeting out, I was like, I have now a vision of how I can help make this happen, which I didn't have at the beginning. It was kind of just like, just had some cloudiness to it. So me especially, was really excited to approach the Lauren and Gianna, because this is what Todd and I wanted from the beginning, but never had somebody crossed our path that we felt could truly take the torch, lead it, and would be excited about it. And it could do it really well. So it was just a very, very exciting meeting, now having the vision to help them create it, run it, and put it to the public, but also to have the right people in place to do that. And if you rush that, that's where things can really go south quickly. For us, it took a good 5 years to really get to this spot and be ready to do this. And it's very exciting, and I know it's going to do very well.
Yeah, so we have I didn't know exactly what it was going to look like either. I have a little bit of an easier time with the vision because I can picture. My brain works
way
different
easier than
yours,
I do.
obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
So I always knew there would be something, but I wasn't exactly sure what it would look like. And sometimes it's just having that and exploring things and looking at opportunities and trying to do things different. If you fall into the trap of just doing the same thing over and over again because it's just how you've always done it, you're going to miss a lot of opportunities. Like, if you didn't push some of our team to teach, they wouldn't have done that, and you just wouldn't have identified the opportunity.
Right.
So you've got to try things and I guess just explore, and get outside of the salon like environment and just think. Like, I looked at a lot of education stuff in my brain, sort of. I looked at a lot of stuff that I dealt with through my gym. When I had my gym for a decade there was a lot of education that goes into that. And part of the education is teaching. Like, how do you get better at teaching? Because just because you're good at hair doesn't mean you're going to be a good educator.
No, those don't go hand in hand.
Just because you're good at, look at business. Everyone thinks that all you have to do is be able to do hair and then you'll have a successful salon. That's false.
Correct.
Business and cosmetology or barbering are two different skill sets. Right. They're not even really relatable. Or, so that's what we have going on. We'll be rolling stuff out over the next few weeks, right?
Yeah.
Couple weeks, end of next week.
Yeah.
So
that's also,
probably like 2 weeks or so, we'll start either teasing dates or we'll put dates out there. Absolutely. And secure stuff. So if you're listening and you're in Southern New Hampshire area, Northern Mass,
get ready. Some great education coming your way.
We have some fun stuff coming, and
it's also
we'll probably get.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say we'll probably get in something and then it'll be summer. So we'll probably get in a couple things and then maybe look towards fall.
Break
for
and then
really.
definitely.
Yeah.
As an owner too, we see all the time, like, how do you keep staff? How do you find good staff? This creates a different opportunity for our staff to make money too. They will get paid, and we explained exactly how that works and what that looks like for them. And it's a fantastic opportunity for them to get paid really well doing something else. It's still in the hair world, but doing something, just being behind the chair. And that opportunity was something that Todd and I really wanted to to be able to present to our staff when they were ready to do that. So it's very cool not only to be giving opportunity to offer great education in this area, but also our staff now has different opportunities to make money under our roof. And it doesn't mean just doing hair behind the chair at Hello. Really proud of that.
Agreed. Do you want to go through a few? Do you have anything else?
No, I'm excited. Hopefully we'll to see you guys all at Hello and taking some very awesome classes.
Yeah, for sure. So we wanted to make this episode quick. We're always trying to make them quicker because I know around that 20 to 30 minute mark is what most people prefer. And I have a few things to sort of, we're in a lot of like Facebook groups and online stuff and different areas online where you can see like people share ideas and ask questions and things. And I thought it would be interesting just to kind of end episodes with a couple of those.
Sure.
We don't have to do it every time, but I figured we could do a couple today.
Okay.
So I usually will just go through, and if I see something interesting, I screenshot it, or if it's worth kind of bringing up. The first one was a post I saw by some big group, and it was like, if you could go back in time and do cosmetology school again, or hair school, or whatever it said, what would you want to learn? And we've talked about this so much, but can you guess what people were saying?
Business.
Yeah, business. So a lot of it was
I'm
business.
like, that's not their job to teach you that.
Retirement, taxes, marketing. Someone wrote the whole business side. Someone wrote business because we're all independent stylists or whatever they wrote.
In the state of New Hampshire,
so much stuff.
Sorry, it gets so.
There's so much stuff on there that's nothing to do with hair. I'm really confused when people write that stuff because when I went to school to learn to become a personal trainer and a nutrition consultant, I didn't expect they were teaching me taxes.
No.
I expected they were teaching me nutrition and how to train people, which is what I got. That's what I paid for.
Mm-hmm.
When you go and sign up and take a tour, are you asking if they're going to teach you business? Are you realizing it halfway? Are you realizing it at the end? Why are you confused that you went to cosmetology or barbering school and they taught you cosmetology or barbering? Why are you confused about that?
And here's the thing.
Why are you not confused that you didn't go to business school? If you want to learn business, go to business school.
Right. You have, in the state of New Hampshire, they give you 1,500 hours, and they spread it out really thin. Now it's not even just hair, it's lashes and nails. And when I went, it was skin. That's not enough hours for you to truly get a foundation for any amounts of hair. So I don't know why you think there's time to learn anything else but hair. It should be so solely focused on hair, and they're getting you ready to pass a test. If you did that, you got everything you were supposed to get and promised out of going to hair school. Anything else you got above that, bonus. You should say thank you to them. Stop being salty about it. You want to learn all of those things, you need to either hire somebody or go to school for those things. That's should not even be an expectation.
Just go to your library.
And there's no time.
Go to your library and get business books.
Yeah, that's on you.
It's really confusing when people are like, beauty school didn't teach me taxes.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed
Why
to.
would
That's
they?
bizarre.
Why would they? Yeah, it is bizarre.
We
That's a
hired
great word for
an
it.
accountant. I did that from my first salon. Even when I first went out on my own, I hired an accountant to teach me how to learn that stuff. That's what I paid for their time. Plus, then I hired them to do my accounting.
Another one on here is somebody was looking for pricing advice. They hadn't raised their prices in 5 years, which is too long. And they were looking how much they should raise it. She said she was thinking about 15%, but considering 20%. I think that's great. I think that's in line with everything we've found.
Yeah.
I think that the general public, like consumers, if you look at trends and you look at statistics, will generally tolerate a 15 to 20% increase on goods and services. So 15 to 20% is right in there. Where I have the problem is the people that give you the arbitrary $5 a haircut.
Yeah. I
Why?
don't know.
So $5 for a $20 haircut is that's a big jump.
Right.
$5 on
Do
a
we know where you're
$200
starting?
haircut is right. $5 on a $200 haircut is not worth your
Stupid.
time. It's 2.5%. It's like not even. What are you talking about?
Oh.
And then people wrote $10 to $15 for color. Again,
Yeah,
you're
those people
just
have no
guessing.
clue what they're saying. But then again, you're
There's
turning to
no
Facebook or a group that I don't know why you don't have somebody that's your either accountant or financial advisor. I would say an accountant. When we ever have questions with things that we might shift in the business, we sit down with our accountant. Now, at the end of the day, Todd and I make these decisions. We wholeheartedly take the whole entire risk of any moves we make in our business, but we strategically sit down with the people that have the best knowledge to make sure we're making the right decisions. Then we take that information and we sit down and decide where does that work or not work for us. I don't go to a Facebook group for any of that, nor would I ever.
Oh, it's interesting. The stuff in here is interesting, and sometimes there's good advice. Like one person said that inflation is up, and even though you're overdue, you don't want to scare your clients.
Yeah, stop it.
Well, you got to do. Yeah, it's not your clients that are going to be scared. It's you that's scared if you're saying that.
That's exactly it. You're scared. Now you need to have therapy on that one to get yourself out of your scared moment. And what do you need to do to make your business thrive?
Let's see. Hold on.
I'm holding.
Oh, this one. Okay. This person said that they're opening a rental salon and they don't want the stylist to compete.
Oh, God.
So these are going to be renters and they want the stylist to all keep their prices and products and the processes all the same. If they want to offer discounts, that's okay. I think you don't have any say on a booth renter, what they charge and what products they use.
That post
I
is
think
wild
that
to me.
I think you don't know what you're talking about at all. And you probably should not open that business. And I guess it comes across probably like a little blunt, but I don't care.
You're not in control.
If you're going to open a rental salon, yes, you're a landlord.
Right.
That is it. You sublease.
You collect
You
your
rent
payment.
a space and you sublease part of it to someone else. That's it. That's all you do. You don't provide anything from them.
Again, those people, check your laws in your state of like what you're allowed to do or check. I don't know. I don't even know where you go for that, but figure out like what you can require and not.
IRS.gov.
Yeah. So, and then figure out from there what you can require and not, and be aware of what the rules are.
Yeah, this person went on to say, I don't want employees and I believe in freedom of booth rental.
There's no freedom in anything they listed above.
Right.
I think, wait, I might have missed this part. Didn't you say like they wanted to say like you all have to charge the same, but you can discount? So like you can't charge more.
That's what I said.
And that's what I thought.
All I said.
I was like, I thought you said that.
Yeah.
You can't charge more, but you can definitely charge less. Like that is a bizarre mentality of way of thinking. I don't know. That's crazy. That post throws my brain in a spin.
Yeah, and then so we'll do one more. Okay. I saw this post the other day. This was on the gram, and it was like this sad music and an empty salon, and it said that this is every salon's worst nightmare. No Huns in seats.
Huns?
Maybe that's a typo. Maybe they meant buns.
Yeah, probably. Maybe no buns in seats.
Stylists standing quiet and retail gathering dust. We've never seen it like this. We've poured our hearts and souls into these spaces, worked late nights and early starts. It's so uncertain. If you're feeling it in your business, you're not alone. This moment won't define us. I'm like, what are you, Braveheart? Like, this is insane. Like, why are you so sad? Why is everyone so sad?
And you need to start
just do the fucking
doing
work.
something.
I'm sorry that I swore, but yeah, do something.
Sitting around
Posting
bitching
on
doesn't do
Instagram.
anything.
No, because you're going to get those 40% of people that just love you no matter what. And then you're going to get the other 40%. That's me. That's like, you're a dumbass. Why are you doing that? People love the word algorithm, right? you're going to see what you want to see. And what I mean by that is if you sit around pouting, guess what? You're going to attract those people that sit around pouting too. And that's what you're going to be surrounded by.
So
if you choose to be positive and move forward, that's what you're going to see. Because that's what your algorithm is going to fill your life with.
Anyone that liked
It's
that post,
the universe, the algorithm, whatever you. Anyone what?
Anyone that liked that post, you need to start making major changes in your business.
Thousands of likes.
Yeah,
thousands of likes.
You're sitting around.
It's way easier to sit around and go, "Oh, woe is me." Look, I don't care about inflation.
And you're going to close.
I don't care about the economy. I don't care about anything. We do what we need to do and move forward. Economy's up, great, cool. Things might be a little easier, maybe not. Shit's always going to happen. You're always going to have negatives.
Yeah.
And the economy could be strong as ever, and I bet you'll still find a way to like complain and be like, "Woe is me," because that's what you're putting out there.
Well, here's the thing. You're not making changes in your business every single year. Every year you need to reevaluate. What are you doing? What changes do I need to make? Where do I need to innovate? Where do I need to pivot? What worked? What didn't? And then you have to implement those changes. If you are not doing that, you're sitting in that Facebook post being like, yeah, I get you. Like high five. Like we're all there. It's because you all didn't do anything. And don't blame anyone else but yourself. You didn't do anything to change and get in 2025 with your current business.
Yeah, and I don't want to come across as rude or like I'm bragging or anything, but our business is having the best year ever. I know it's early, but our months are all up, our weeks are all up.
We are
and we're doing still pushing
the work.
Yeah, you've got to push. You've got to do some stuff on the back end. You've got to figure out your marketing. You've got to figure out, like, that's cool that you can post those posts, but guess what happens? Like, I saw somebody in the comment section on that post that was one of these people's clients. How would that feel?
Oh my.
You're complaining about how, yeah. And they were like, "Hey, I was in yesterday. I had a really great time. Sorry."
Can you imagine?
I'm like, yeah. Well, you're getting these people that are posting stuff to get likes from people in the industry. I don't know what that does for you. I've never, ever needed somebody's validation or any sort of affirmation that I'm a decent person from the internet.
Yeah. Wild.
So that's wild to me. Yeah. And I happen to just not, like, I truly don't understand it at all.
Generally, and like I don't think this sounds like a jerk, but generally at the end of the day, if you're running a business and it's not successful, you are the problem. You can blame all of the other outside things that didn't go right, but somewhere you didn't do the work, didn't do it enough, didn't do it consistently. It's just where it goes. And it's not easy to hear. We're doing great right now, but that doesn't mean every year was great. There are years that were shit, but we never stopped trying to progress, innovate, pivot, and do the work. Even when it wasn't working out, then what else do we do? It's exhausting. But at the same point, when you're not doing well, you have to do something different, not the same thing over and over again. And bitching gets you nowhere. Quickly get off the bitch mound and get to somewhere where it's a solution, or what can I do next? The bitch mound.
Bitch mound.
Get off your bitch mound.
Yeah, I don't know. We have Huns in seats, so
yeah, lots of Huns in seats.
Yeah. Anyway, person, you're probably not listening, but if you are, just do something.
Or reach out and we can help you, and we'll get you some Huns in seats.
All right. Anything else?
No.
All right. I love it. We're over. Less than 30 minutes. Perfect.
Great.
We'll see you guys next week. Jump in on our newsletter. Still going strong. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay.
All right. Bye everyone.